that. We'll see. See what happens. All right. So the Saints are 6-9 on the season, guys. They've won 2 straight. They won at home against Atlanta, and then last week on the road at really cold Cleveland, in a game where, if you just look at the offensive stats, you say to yourself, how the heck did they win the game? Because they didn't do much, that's for sure. But they ended up winning, to their credit. They are 2-5 on the road. Guys, last week was the first outdoor non-dome game that they've won the entire season. They were 0-6 leading up to that point in games outdoors. Read of that what you will. Now,
wow,
it's kind of unfortunate that it's not going to be freezing and nasty. Although they showed they could win in it last week. I don't think I was reading some quotes from Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara was basically like, yeah, man, I made sure I ran super hard because I just wanted to get over to the sidelines and get warm. Like he wasn't even pretending like there was anything else going on there. It was pretty funny. But the crazy thing is, even with that crappy 6-9 record, they're only 1 game back of the AFC South. Or
NFC South.
NFC South.
Well, yeah, they got a lot to play for.
Yeah.
This team was dead to rights a few weeks ago. Now all of a sudden they look up. Hey, as bad as we are, we still have a chance to win the division.
Right.
So they're going to come in and give you their best shot also. Good. That's what I want to see. I want a good competitive game.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No question. So there's that. They rank, I'll give you the defensive numbers. They rank 14th overall. They give up 21.7 points per game. They're 23rd against the rush, 132 per game. Now, we said the same thing last week about Dallas. We said the same thing the week before against the Bears. The Eagles need to establish the run. I told you guys yesterday I would go to Miles Sanders early, just get his confidence back, and let him just pound. Will they do that? I don't know.
Did they establish a run against Chicago?
No.
Did they establish a run against Dallas?
No.
Throw stats out the window from this point on.
I hear you.
Throw stats out the window.
They are second in the league defensively, are the Saints, against the pass. They are, a legitimately good team in terms of the passing. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at who's number 1 in the league against the pass, who would it be, fellas? Just take a guess.
Against the pass.
Who's number 1 against the pass?
49ers.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia
Eagles are number 1 against the pass. They give up 181 yards per game in the air. Saints give up $190. So the Eagles are number 1. The top 5 are the Eagles, Saints, Packers, Bucks, Jets, just for bleeps and giggles. Okay.
And how did it work out this past Saturday?
Not real well. So basically what I'm saying is throw every number I'm giving you out the window because none of it matters.
Yes, that's exactly right. Nothing makes sense anymore.
No, nothing. Bizarro world. All right. So for what it's worth, let me just finish my exercise in futility here. Offensively, it's all right. They're only scoring 20 points per game. I mean, that's not good. It's 23rd in the league. Rushing, I thought they'd be better. They're not. They're 19th. They're like less than middle of the pack, 114 yards per game. Passing, nothing special. 223 per game. It's 15th. So they're very mediocre across the board offensively, guys, from a numbers perspective. Now, Andy Dalton, 12 games played, 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completing 66% and a 95 passer rating. It's okay. He's got Olave, who's legit if he's healthy. He's got 63 catches as a rookie for 940 yards. He could very well go over 1,000 yards as a rookie. Very good player. He's going to be a beast, as time goes on. Kamara, he's got 717 yards rushing, but he's under 4 yards per carry and only has 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, where he can hurt you is he also has 55 catches for 480 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's very good at catching the ball out of the backfield. That much we know. Where I would really concern myself if I'm looking at this game from an Eagles perspective is they have some really legitimate studs on defense, like Demario Davis. Yeah. This guy's got 94 tackles, 6.5 sacks. Caden Ellis, another guy who misspells Ellis. We got to get rid of that extra S, fellas. We got to get rid of it. Anyway, 71 tackles, 5.5 sacks. Okay, he's legit. We don't hear much about him, but he's really good. And Cameron Jordan, who we all know about, 54 tackles, 5.5 sacks. I'm just giving you a few here, but there's some legit dudes on that side of the football for sure that you gotta watch. And this is where the whole not having Lane, offensive line, with maybe some question marks here for a team that will sack the quarterback for sure.
And look at how few times Dalton has been sacked this year. That's a big one. You know, when you think about how many games he's played and how few times he's been sacked, Eagles got to bring it. I want to see them knock his red carrot top off. That's what I want
to see. Yeah. How about, you're right, Derek, 18 sacks in those 12 games. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
He does. Look, he's a vet who will get rid of the ball pretty quickly. I'll give him that much for whatever he is. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Andy Dalton's not a stiff. He's had a nice career, but he's on the back end here. I mean, let's be real, you know, especially in the Red Rocket. He's not, I don't know if he's the Red Rocket anymore. I don't know what he is. The Red M80. I don't know what he is anymore.
You shoot your eye out.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched that like 10 times over the holiday.
Right.
You know, Taysom Hill, look, you know, the guy will do some things. You know, in the run game, he's over 500 yards. On the ground, he will catch passes. So, you know, a little bit dangerous. You got to keep your eye on him. That's for sure. But, you know, they're pretty banged up, and this is not a special unit on that side. The Eagles defense should be able to play well here.
Well, the Eagles defense should just totally shut them down offensively. I mean, Dalton's just going to be right there. And we know we rush the passer very, very well. So if you really evaluate how this team really needs to get out there, if you could stop Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara, everything else is just, you know, average at best. I mean, this should be a great day for our corners to just play at a high level and let those guys up front do the rest. They'll stop the run, they'll rush the passer. The offensive line is not very good at all. This should be a game of games for us. We should be okay.
Question, Barrett, and Jonathan Gannon didn't tip his hat yesterday when he basically took a lot of blame, by the way, especially for the 3rd and 30. But any idea what they may do there with the, you know, with the issue here with Avonte being out? Do you just try to help Josiah Scott and coach him up better? Like, what do you do there? Because CJ still may not be ready. It doesn't seem like he's going to be ready.
I think he's going to play well in all actuality.
Okay.
I really think he's going to play well. I think he has no choice but to play well because he's been playing so bad here lately. He's gonna play because when he had an opportunity to practice and be that guy instead of just coming in and filling in, he played okay. He'll gain a lot more confidence being out there because he'll be starting as opposed to coming in. You get a different mentality when you're a starter as opposed to just come off the bench cold. And I think that's what happened to him. He had gotten out of the framework of being, you know, a guy that had a lot of reps. You know what I'm saying? So I could also see them using Kayvon Wallace a lot more in this game because it's a game where I think he can cover Taysom Hill. That'll be a good matchup against him.
Oh.
What?
There's a lot of confidence in that grunt. Oh my God!
Oh my goodness, that didn't sound too.
I really, you know what? I thought he was going to be. I thought he was a steal. I thought he was going to.
I did too.
A lot better. I'm.
Me too.
Surprised.
He is a steal. He's stealing money right now. Look, Barrett, you have some valid points. Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to Josiah Scott, we've seen a good enough sample of him all season long to formulate an opinion, right?
Right.
Now, based on what you just said, he's played okay. That tells me that he has not made significant strides from start to up to this point. He's been okay, but you still have concerns about him. Now, my concern with him is he's still a young player who has just been thrown under the road grader by one of his mentors. Now, all this week, the coaching staff and teammates, hey, man, you can do this. You got this. But it has to come from here with him.
Yes.
And the first time he makes a mistake, is he going to be gun shy again in a crucial situation? If there is who knows? They could blow this team out just like they did the Giants. But if it's a close game and he has to make a crucial decision in a crucial situation, where's his head going to be? Is he going to be focused on the task in hand, or is he looking to his right or to his left to see who's looking at him?
I can't answer that. From a guy that backed up the last 4 years of my career.
Right.
I'll put it like this. I knew what I was getting paid to do. I was paid to come in and spot. And if I have an opportunity to be a starter, I made it happen during those opportunities.
Okay, tell me the difference in your mindset, though, from the first 4 years of your career to the last 4. What was the big difference?
I started my first 6-7 years of my career. So I was a starter. My mindset was as a starter, I got to go out there and ball and be the best player out there.
But in the latter tenure of your career, you were a seasoned vet.
Yep.
You're still talking about a young player trying to find his way.
He was, his head is spinning right now because he's watching the same film, and when he watches the film, he sees and knows the mistake. He knows the mistake when he's doing it. It just happens too late before he realizes it's happening to him.
Yes.
So when he goes back and watches the film, he'll see that. He'll play a lot better. But I mean, I at this point, I've seen a major difference in how Kayvon Wallace is playing. The last 3 games, Kayvon Wallace has came to play, man. We talk bad about him, but how many plays, especially against the Bears? How many? We didn't even talk about that, but we should have gave him a lot more praise because he played his ass off against that Bears team, man. He played in the box. They used him where he's more suited to play. He played well, being inside the box, running, tackling, making plays around the line of scrimmage. He had a great game, and this is going to be kind of the same situation this week. I see them putting him in the slot. So here it is. You want this. This is as close as you get to having a look into what I think they should do at the secondary. But Kayvon Wallace in there at the slot. Have him play against Taysom Hill. Have him playing against those tight ends. He actually plays well against those guys. He plays aggressive. Come up and run support. Have him there when they start running that Wildcat system with Taysom Hill. He'll come up and lay a lick on him. That might be our best means of stopping the offense. I can see that.
I like your enthusiasm. I'll say that.
And look, a lot of this is going to fall on Gannon coaching this up and figuring out ways to overcome the issues here, and not exposing Josiah Scott or getting him out of there or using Kayvon Wallace or getting Slay and Bradbury back to the elite level. I don't think they played elite the last couple of weeks. Some of that has to do – look, here's the other thing. Sometimes you tip your hat. I hate to admit this, but CeeDee Lamb's damn good. And the way they used him and moved him around and all that, Kellen Moore did a nice job. Okay. So, but I'm not, what happened the week before was a lot of just Justin Fields running around. I get that. But, this is not an elite offense, I guess is my point. So we shouldn't be seeing these same kind of issues that we saw against the Cowboys.
You've got to get back to basics. You just played 2 defenses in a span of 8 days that are very generous against the run, and you did not establish your running game. You made that Bears game a lot closer than it should have been, and you let the Cowboys off the hook because you played right into their hands in a lot of ways. With a backup quarterback. With your backup quarterback, you should have been pounding that team between the tackles. No, you put the ball up in the air. What happened? 3 interceptions leads to 20 points. You played into their hands. What are you doing? Now, we're lounge chair quarterbacks. We're lounge chair coaches. We know what they should be doing. It wasn't that long ago. They were leading the National Football League hands down in the running game. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they've gotten away from that. You're lucky you survived against Chicago, and they bit you in the behind against Dallas.
Well, how many times we bumped our head against the wall and him not come out and change these up a little bit, and we're singing the praises of him the next week?
Yes.
I really think that, like this is another week under Gardner Minshew's belt, which will make him a better player.
I agree. I think he's going to be much better.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying though. Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions all year, right?
Up until the Bears game.
Okay. So your team now has 5 picks in the last 2 games.
Yes.
5 picks in the last 2 when you only had 3 total before that. You're playing into the opposition's hands. Instead of attacking their weakness, you're playing to their strength. I mean, it's basic football. You pound them. You leave them for roadkill. That's your forte to set up your pass.
And especially
what are you doing?
Especially if you have Driscoll playing there, you're gonna have to
run the ball.
Right. But if they turn around and they do start Mailata and Dillard, then we already know what the game plan is going to be. It's going to be a pass happy day.
Oh, no.
I would think for a couple of reasons, because of the fumbleitis that he's had the last couple of weeks, because he's been really good. They only had 87 rushing yards last week total,
which is a travesty.
Terrible for this team. That can't ever happen. But I really truly believe, and you guys can laugh at me on Monday, and I'm sure you will, as you usually do.
I would never laugh at you, Rob. I'm with
you, Derek. Make that one of your New Year's resolutions that you no more lying.
I ain't gonna tell that lie. I can't do that.
I know. No, I believe that he'll get a fair amount of touches. Like, he ran it 21 times. Like that. That's okay. I mean, that's not terrible against the Cowboys. 21. I didn't hate that, but I think they will try to get him going early. I do. I think it's some of that is we don't take some of the heat off of Minshew, take some of the heat off of the right side, where I think Driscoll could do a better job in the run blocking situation if it is Driscoll. It just makes sense. It probably makes too much sense, which means they'll throw it 45 times. But anyway, I think they will run more. I'm gonna go on record.
No, this is another week that Dallas Goedert back in the fold, playing another game.
Yeah.
So it'll help that aspect of our game also.
3 catches, they're good numbers, 67 for the 3 catches, but you would like to see that up to 6 or 7, somewhere around there.
Well, also look at this though. What are they going to do about Quez Watkins? And Dan, you need to stop, man, because first day Dan texted me, you called him marshmallow hands. I can't believe I said this. I said it, and I shouldn't have said it, and consciously I said it. I said it, and it would be Dan to bring it back. Like, damn, I did say that, but stop, Dan. Leave me alone, bro. Yeah.
I've said to you guys, enough of that over the middle stuff with him. No slants, nothing over the middle, deep routes and sidelines. That's it.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to see more of them to him again. I'm telling you. It's going to happen again.
So we're going to be like, shoot, I need a pick. Hey, make sure we leave him just a little bit open and we just run straight through him.
Well, you know what I think? One thing that Nick Sirianni has shown in his coaching staff is they are willing to adjust and they are willing to change things up. I don't think that they're stubborn to a fault. I swear I don't. I really don't. I've seen a lot of that over the years with the Eagles coaches. I don't think that's them. So I believe they'll try and do something different. I do. All right. We'll come back.
Optimism.
At 1:40, we are going to talk to Coach Marcus, who has played for the Eagles, played in the NFL, has an amazing podcast called Pro Fan Talk Podcast. He's going to join us at 1:40. Come back. We'll sneak in a little bit of Sixers. We mentioned them off the top, how they lost to the Wizards, but we'll give you a little Sixers talk when we come back as well. Then 2 o'clock, our NFL segment. A lot of things. There's an update on Tua, Carson Wentz. We have an update. We're going to look at our defensive player of the year. We'll give our AFC power rankings. We got a lot to do, so don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, we're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I want to tell you right now about Flynn Tree Services. Yes, Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So if you have any type of tree issue, on your yard, on property, just do yourself a favor. They're just a quick phone call away. Give them a call. They are experts trimming all types of trees, and they service southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Keep in mind, we're in that nasty season right now. Heavy winds, hurricanes, all that kind of stuff. It's a great time to have your tree evaluated. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.